don't know, can you see all these bugs?
Hey folks! In an earlier video, Colin and I visited the Preble Cemetery in Bowdoinham, Maine. At the time, our focus was to see what was there. We looked at the graves and determined some alignment correlations. We also got a concept of the site, but not necessarily of the graves themselves. So we're back in Bowdoinham going down the same old roads.
Hey everybody, we're back at the Preble Cemetery. We're here to do some of the stuff we didn't do in the last video. So we're going to do some stone rubbings, we're going to take some measurements, and we're also going to see what's going on with that empty spot in the front of the cemetery. There might be some more graves. So join us!
We noticed a few changes to the site when we returned. Some of the posts had collapsed, while some other parts of the fence had been picked up. We decided to try making some stone rubbings. We used medium-weight, non-fusible interface fabric and beeswax crayons to make the rubbings. These are a good way to collect information, but you gotta be careful. Some cemeteries outright ban doing rubbings. Depending on the material of the stone, its age, its brittleness, stone rubbing can actually damage tombstones. So always be mindful if you do a rubbing. Be aware of the integrity of the stones. So let's look at what the rubbings revealed. If you noticed, one of the people here has 2 wives, but only one is buried in the cemetery. Now, there's a large empty space in the eastern part of the graveyard. We tried looking but couldn't find anything there. We measured the site and there appears to be more room for burials, but we couldn't find any traces of any other tombstones. So the mystery deepens. What's also interesting about these tombstones is how they reveal the social relationships of the time, and attitudes about this whole thing called life. For example, the women only have their first names given and are addressed as wife of. For the children, both parents are listed. The motifs are something you won't see on modern tombstones, and a lot of them are pulling double duty. The anchor on Captain Preble's tombstone reflects his position in life. It's something you can find on tombstones throughout this part of Maine, which has an extensive maritime history. Captain Preble's anchor is combined with plant motifs and a banner reading Hope. Anchors have been associated with those lost at sea. However, it's also a symbol associated with Christian values, steadfastness, faith, hope. His wife died 22 years later. Her tombstone features a similar space for bas-reliefs, also surrounded by plant motifs. She doesn't have an anchor though. The central motif is a hand with the index finger pointing skyward. Some have told me it's a symbol associated with Freemasons, which may be true. Other research says it's the hand of God, indicating the reward of the righteous, and a confirmation of life after death. This is a motif I've found throughout the area, though there are some variations on the theme. Sometimes the finger is pointing down at the grave, other times it's reversed. The plant motifs are an affirmation of the belief in life after death, or life in spite of death. This is one of the reasons why many cultures leave bouquets or plant flowers at graves. It's a great symbol. The scrollwork and molding on Noble's tombstone also invokes plant life. It's a simplification of plant motifs that can be found in classical architecture. Now we're at the part of the video where I have to correct something I got wrong from the last video. Last time I said the tombstones were aligned to the rising of the sun on the fall equinox. This is also the rising point on the spring equinox, which is also true east. Rookie mistake. I did the first set of readings with a compass app on Colin's phone and then a planisphere app on my phone. However, later I found out I was doing something wrong with my app.
So we're going to go back in the Preble Cemetery one more time. I'm getting really tired of all the confusion about all the alignments and the compasses and all the devices. So I went out, I got one of these. It's a real compass. Deviation from north is 15 degrees. We're going to run in, quick job, try to avoid getting bit by many mosquitoes, and run out. Let's go. Since we've been using Harvey so much. Oh man, these mosquitoes are killing me. Okay, let's run out of here. Yep. These guys are awful.
What'd you get?
We'll look at the pictures I took in a moment. I want to run out of here.
We got a reading that these tombstones were aligned approximately 32 degrees clockwise from magnetic north, or magnetic east, however you choose the starting point. If you subtract 15 degrees of magnetic declination, we find that they're about 15 degrees off from true north or true east. Essentially, the headstone-footstone axis is pointing the feet of those buried there just a little to the southeast, so not in alignment with the equinoxes. But it should be within the rising and setting points of the solstices. So I gotta figure out more what's going on there. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment. What is cool, though, is the alignment of the tombstones here correlate with colonial cemeteries in Boston, Massachusetts. So we got a couple more mysteries. Where is Noble's second wife? And what's going on with these alignments? Until next time, friends.